Good evening. My name is Adebimpe Adenola, and we've been tasked for week 14's assignment to discuss on the expand trait. The question goes as such. You've been offered a reasonably lucrative expand trait assignment for the next 3 years, and your boss will have a meeting with you next week. How would you discuss this opportunity with your boss? As we know, there is the ongoing globalization of the world economy. The Asian financial crisis, for example, highlights the extent to which the economic fates of nations around the world are inextricably intertwined. What began as currency devaluation in a relatively small economy like Indonesia has triggered a systemic reaction in financial markets around the world. To deal effectively with the challenges in the new economic world order, it is imperative that managers of the 21st century possess a global perspective. However, in order to become world class, organizations must not only meet the highest standards anywhere in the world, but must also develop a new breed of managers, cosmopolitans who are rich in three tangible assets: concepts, competence, and connections. Expatriation has been described as the process of selecting, managing, motivating expatriates to work abroad. An effective way for developing cosmopolitans is to send them on international assignments where they can assume a broader range of duties and responsibilities and thus sharpen up and further develop these three intangible assets. It is a privilege to be considered for such assignment as it comes with human capacity development. Acculturation refers to the process by which group members from one cultural background adapt to the culture of a different group. My first interest will be to know what the company has in the pipeline for me in order to get acculturated to the environmental demand of the host country. Expatriates are strategists representing the interests of the multinational enterprise headquarters. Expatriates, especially parent country nationals who have a long tenure with a particular MNE, may have internalized the parent firm's values and norms. They may not only enable headquarters to control subsidiaries, but also facilitate the socialization process to bring subsidiaries into an MNE's global orbit. Expatriates also act as daily managers to run operations and to build local capabilities where local management talent is lacking. Expatriates are ambassadors. They represent headquarters, build relationships with host country stakeholders such as local managers, employees, suppliers, customers, and officials. Importantly, they also represent the interests of subsidiaries when interacting with headquarters. And finally, they are trainers from their replacements as well. Over time, some localization in staffing is inevitable, calling for expatriates to train local employees. Due to the challenging multidimensional roles required from expatriates, success rate is low. In other words, not surprisingly, expatriate failure is high. Expatriate failure can be defined differently as premature or earlier than expected return, unmet business objectives, and unfulfilled career development objectives. Survey carried out in the 1980s showed that 76% of U.S. multinational enterprise have more than 10% of expatriates failing. 41% and 24% of European and Japanese multinational enterprise, respectively, have comparable numbers of failure cases. Most recent studies find failure rates to have declined a little bit. However, given the much larger number of expatriates now, expatriate failure rates are still high. A number of reasons can cause expatriate failure. Surveys of U.S. and European multinational enterprise find that the inability of the spouse and the family to adjust is the leading cause. In the case of Japanese MNEs, the leading cause is the inability to cope with the larger scope of responsibilities overseas. It is usually a combination of work-related and family-related problems that lead to expatriate failures. Now, as we all know, training is specific preparation to do a particular job, while development refers to long-term, broader preparation to improve managerial skills for a better career. The importance and cost of expatriates and their reported high failure rates necessitate training and development programs, as expected training length and rigor vary according to the length of stay for expatriates. For a short stay, training can be short and less rigorous. Sometimes survival level language training would suffice. However, for a long stay of several years, it is imperative that longer and more rigorous training be provided, especially for neophyte expatriates. This would entail more extensive language training and sensitivity training, preferably with an immersion approach, which is training conducted in a foreign language/cultural environment. More enlightened firms now involve the spouse in the expatriate training. This concludes my presentation. Thank you.